up, guys? Long awaited update on my track build. Did a quick U-turn, shocks staying the way it is. Here's my new GT3RS. We're doing the same mods to this thing. I'm really excited to show the build of this car. I've had it for about a week. It already looked completely different. I've done some little mods already, clear reflectors, clear tails, colored door handles. A couple of these mods, I got so excited I threw them on so quick. I totally forgot to film them, and maybe this would be a good way to show how it's done and show how easy it is to work on a car like this. Porsche quality is amazing. Everything goes on and off exactly how it should, and it's just a joy to work on. So we're having a great time. It's gonna be a lot coming for this car, coming down the pipeline soon. So yeah, let's dive in. I wanna show you guys how we're gonna do the door pulls today. They were a silver color before now, and we changed them to the OEM speed yellow color, and that's gonna tie in with a lot of details coming in on this car that we'll fire you guys up with later. So yeah, let's get to it. All right guys, so the first step here is you need one of these plastic pry tools. Any style really helps. But there's gonna be 3 T30s on here, 1 here, 2 up here. So the first thing you need to do is remove this cover. And honestly, you have to give it quite a bit of pressure, but it just pops right off. Can't really be scared to muscle it off. So that's the first one. And as you come in here, the second one we need to do is this airbag cover. You can kind of just get your hands behind it here, but I'm gonna use this as a little bit of a wedge. And this pops off really easily. It's just a matter of getting your fingers behind there. There's a couple clips, and it pops out just like that. And lastly, we need to get in here. I'm gonna grab a tiny little screwdriver, not to scratch it, but the smaller the better, and you can get in here and pop this little center cap out as well for our last bolt. That would be the 4th T30 you need to do. So if you try to use a big Phillips head on this thing, you definitely kind of do some damage. But if you come over here and get under it a little bit, it pops right out. All right, so the bolts you need to do here is there's one over here, 1 T30 on this corner. That's out. There's one right here. And there's one in here. Kind of hard to see, but you just gotta trust. This happened to me last time as well. There we go. All right, and then the last one is right here. All right, so now we've got all the bolts off the door. And what you want to be mindful of is not door dinging the guards red, but besides that is when you take this door panel off, it kind of hitches in with these clips all over. So you pull up on the door, but it's connected to the stereo over here, and it's also connected to the door pull. So you can't just rip the whole thing off, or you're gonna mess that stuff up. So something we can do, you can do this first, is you pop this little clip up and pop that out, and that's gonna be all the electronics for the mirrors, your windows, the stereo. Once that's free, now we're only worrying about the door pull. And when you're trying to get the door pull off, it does help to have 2 people do it. I'm gonna see if I can just do it myself. But you just be real nice and careful with it. Everything pops off exactly how it should. Now you would have to worry about this if you didn't already do that, but since it's already off, it's okay. Now you're looking at this mechanism. This is our door pull. So it connects here, and we're gonna have to unclip this, pull this wire up, unclip this out, and then we can pull these 2 tabs apart, and that'll pull out that way. So let me see. Start like this, that pulls out. You're gonna undo these 2 clips. And then it helps, last time I used a pry tool just to wedge it out a little bit, which I might use again here. There we go, don't need it. Sometimes that's helpful, but it comes right out that way. So yeah, let's take this into the back and we'll check out what you need to do to get this off. All right, now we're looking at the inside here. This is the unit we're replacing. You're gonna switch to a T20, and there's a couple bolts. So we're gonna get into that now. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these T20s in here. So we want to get these off first. And after we get these T20s off, you'll see right here, we have a 8mm, I believe, socket. And that's what actually secures the end of the pull strap on there. So that's what we're going to be getting lastly. But we'll get this whole unit loose first before we mess with that. Screwed these in nice and tight last time. Not too tight, but nice and snug. Alright, here's our last T20. Now you can see this whole unit's kind of free. And we're going to come over here with the 8mm and go this other way. Alright, now that this is completely off, we're taking this piece, and this is what holds it in here. And when you pull this off here, you can see on the other side, as we feed it through, it's this whole unit. That's what holds it in. So this unit that sits here, it has a clip that goes in like that. That's what holds it in. Alright, so here's the whole unit disassembled. So if you were changing to a different one, you just, do the same process as this, but this one's going back in. So honestly, it's just the same process, except this time you have to feed it through here, feed it back out here, lock it on this, put that back, and we're good to go. So it's basically just repeating the exact same steps we did. It helps with this if you have another person. Not needed, but when you're feeding this part through, it definitely helps a little bit to have another set of hands. It's an odd angle. We'll see what we can do. Got it. You just want to make sure that this piece on the other side is flush and fitted. I'm going to hold on to it while I'm down here. And we have this piece is going to go back on as such. That nice and snug, and now we're going to start putting this back in place, and as it should, everything fits very nicely, falls right into place. Something I noticed on working on my BMWs, not quite as a pleasure to work on. These Porsches are really nice. You can really tell the German engineering. Everything comes on and off exactly how it's supposed to. Not a lot of finessing going on. If you need to be finessing stuff, probably doing something wrong, and you should not try to force anything. And once we get all these screws back on, let's have a reversal of the other steps. Once again, it's easier if you have someone to help hold the door panel, but at the same time, it's totally doable with yourself. Make sure all these are snug before we go back on. Alright. Now I'm going to switch back over to the T30 for later. And yeah, I'll show you guys how to get this door panel back on. And you can see here, it's on. It's got the nice pull. It's pulling the mechanism, which will connect here. And yeah, pretty simple job, honestly. Saves a lot of time and labor. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to plug this back in. Stereo clip, make sure this pink clip is up. You got to cut the door close. And as you push it in, the clip goes down and snugs it in. And then we need a repeat process of this. So I'm going to try to balance this on one of these clips. So that slides in like this. You have to rotate it. It's going to slide in and come to clip. And then here, you're going to pull back on the unit. And it will slide into place. And then these two prongs will click in. And then we can test it to see it's pulling it. And now what you're going to do is you see all these little shelf clips right here. Basically find those at the inside here, and it will rest right on. So you line up one or two here, as so. And then once again, don't force anything. Just kind of finesse. But these all clip right back into place. And there's really no clip on this, so you're not listening for a click. You're just making sure everything is seated properly. You didn't mess up this little plastic thing on the windows. You should see that everything is clicked back into place properly. So I'm going to grab my T30. Throw some of these back on real quick. And we're almost done this install. This mock install. There's our first one on. Second one is over here. Third one again is right in the middle of the door pull. I have to move this to the side. You kind of just have to feel around and finesse that one. Hopefully we got it. There we go, we did. It's snug. And the very last one here on the corner. Just gonna go straight in on. Cool. Once everything's snug, you're happy with the fitment of everything. Shouldn't be any problems at this point. Alright, clip this piece back on. Pops right in. Easier on the way in than on the way out, definitely. And this piece I start up here, and I pop this one in first. And I work my way down. It's about 4, 5, 6 clips. That's completely seated. And then the very last piece, which is down here. There's a little lip on this you have to tuck in. Oh, tucks in on the top. And it's a little bit tricky with the strap here. Of course, probably one of the easiest parts I mess up. There we go. And we're all set. So that's how we install the yellow door pulls. I think it's a huge difference. It's going to match a lot of the yellow accents on this car. It's always good to test after, make sure that it works properly, but it's working exactly how we need it to. So yeah, now we're going to move on to the tail lights. I installed the clear tails last night. It's very easy, but I'll show you guys how to take those in and out. And yeah, later today we're going to try to tear into the steering wheel. I'm just waiting on a 12 millimeter triple square to take this out. So we got an Alcantara wheel going in here as well later today, so stay tuned for that.